This is how it all went down. He says he's fine with the Murdochs. I don't, I mean, hey, look, it's just business, right? At the end of the day, it's just business. And he had the view that it was not being well run as a business. And that was in part because of some of the management, which might have included some of the commentary coming from the peanut gallery, which would be Paul Ryan. Anyway, take a listen to Tucker saying this on his own show, actually, just shortly after this all went down.
Similar. What? Now, let me ask you this. Before the Fox unwinded.
You mean I got fired?
Yes. Did you think were you ardent, go Fox, go guy, or did...
My view on Fox hasn't really changed. They let me say whatever I want, whatever I wanted, really, for 14 years, and I'll never stop being grateful for that. And then, obviously, I said too much, and I'm not exactly sure what I said that was bad. No one ever told me, but one day they're like, oh, can't have this anymore, and they fired me. And I even told them as they were firing me, it's your business. I made a mental note, never work for anyone else again, and I never will. But I can't be mad about it. I mean, they were great to me. The Murdochs were always nice to me, and one day, for whatever reason, they'd had enough. So my feelings weren't hurt. I was not expecting it.
So were you, for me, when I was with Penn, I knew there were things, it's like, oh, I can't go there. They made that clear. Did you feel like at Fox you could say whatever you want?
Well, there was always internal, the Murdochs were always nice. They never got in my way at all. They were always super nice to me. But there were, it's a company run by fearful women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there were always second tier people who were hassling my producers, but no one ever called me. I got along with everybody, but I think they knew the censorship that's not don't welcome that, you know? So, but they never actually got in the way of anything. Our view on the war in Ukraine was really, really hated. I could feel it. And my view was not pro-Russia, never has been pro-Russia. Just this is not our fight. It's not good for us. We should just put an end to the war because people die in war. I've seen it. It's bad. And just saying that was considered crazy pro-Kremlin propaganda. And they were very mad about that. But to their credit, they never said anything to me about it directly. I could just smell it. And so I really just don't have any complaints. And I will say, and I know that you've experienced this, it's true, being humiliated in public, being fired, I have been a couple of times, is totally good for you in the end, because it keeps you from thinking you're Jesus or getting super crazy hubris guy,
I would think with you, it would have increased. So we similar. What? Now, let me ask you this. Before the Fox unwinded.
You mean I got fired?
Yes. Did you think were you ardent?
He says some kind of interesting stuff, right? Because he actually alluded to exactly what Paul Ryan was just getting at. In other words, he said we had a totally different viewpoint on Ukraine. Look, I've been there, done that, seen that. And I totally agree with him on absolutely everything. Look, it is just business at the end of the day, and we're all adults. And you know what? You work for someone. Those are the risks you take. I mean, you don't really think that your own employer is going to just, be that bad and give you that big a kick in the pants on the way out the door, but they're a competitive bunch and, whatever. I think we're all happy that we're not there anymore. I would also just say that he likely, much like I had a different view on everything that happened in the days of coronavirus and COVID, you get the market tank in 2000 and the President Trump was shutting down the whole nation. I'm like, whoa. I think this is getting a little too crazy, right? Because you knew they were going to politicize it, which is exactly what they did. And I warned of that. And then that was that. So I got to say what I wanted, I guess. And then that was that. It's better over here, is it not? Reminder to subscribe to the show. I'm here every day live with you. We are growing and growing and growing. I mean, we're up over 200,000 right now. And this is our little thing, that we just started not that long ago right here on YouTube. But you heard him Tucker reference Paul Ryan and his view, if you would, on Ukraine. And I think that probably had to have been at least some of the sticking points. There's something else too.
What worries me more, and not just Tucker, that's a symptom of all this, is that they're curating sympathy in America. And they're helping nurture and develop an isolationist wing in my party and in our country, which I think is very, very dangerous.
Okay, but again, is it not somebody's right as a commentator, as a journalist, as an intellectual, to explore all of these things? I mean, are we just supposed to take it? Whatever you say. Okay, whatever you say, mainstream media. Whatever you say, President Biden. Whatever you say. Okay, that's that? I mean, I just think it's high time we be able to ask these questions. And we're getting a little tired of being treated as we have been treated. And I mean us collectively as Americans for not being able to ask these questions. I mean, Tucker went through it. I certainly went through it. You probably in some small way might have gone through it yourself, just in terms of the cancel culture, right, that we've all been living through. And so if you dare to speak up and say, hey, like maybe this doesn't totally make sense to me, they're like, oh my gosh, how dare you? It's like sacrilegious. It's really kind of crazy. I mean, and he had a habit of doing this, right? Don't forget, it wasn't just whatever was going on with Ukraine. He also was pointing out that there was only one narrative when it came to January 6th. One narrative only. I mean, I didn't realize it until more recently, and I've brought this story to you. The fact that Nancy Pelosi's daughter was the one who shot all the footage that we saw in a loop over and over and over again, because that's what they used in the J6 hearings. Well, Tucker was addressing some of these issues way back when, and he was getting in a lot of trouble for it. I mean, when you have a sitting U.S. Senator on the floor there at the Capitol building saying this, none other than Chuck Schumer, probably calling his friend Paul Ryan, I think Tucker's days were pretty numbered. Watch.
Last night, millions of Americans tuned in to one of the most shameful hours we have ever seen on cable television. Fox News host Tucker Carlson ran a lengthy segment last night arguing the January 6th Capitol attack was not a violent insurrection. I don't think I've ever seen a primetime cable news anchor manipulate his viewers the way Mr. Carlson did last night. I don't think I've ever seen an anchor treat the American people and American democracy with such disdain.
There's nothing that shameful that has ever appeared on American television in the history of the medium. And so, on the basis of that, the self-evident outrage of showing the public video that it paid for and has a right to see, Chuck Schumer called for the censorship of that video. Any information, and he did not dispute that it was accurate, that damages a storyline his party constructed and used must be squelched. And Schumer was explicit on that point. Because that video contradicted lies told by the Democratic Party, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, Chuck Schumer demanded that our bosses pull this show off the air.
He's going to come back tonight with another segment. Fox News should tell him not to. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, tell Carlson not to run a second segment of lies. I urge Fox News to order Carlson to cease propagating the big lie on his network and to level with their viewers about the truth behind the efforts to mislead the public. Conduct like theirs is just asking for another January 6th to happen.
Okay. So you wonder why he was shown the door.